Okay, good morning, everyone. You're lucky I came when I came because I think if I was a little bit any later, Mendy was going to start with comedy. So, no, okay. So just joking around. So we are.
Question I had is, if you have a choice to go to Eretz Yisrael, do you take Rosh Hashanah or you take Sukkot?
Take Rosh Hashanah. Are you on the lottery? If you win the lottery, go to both. What do you mean?
You get one choice.
The lottery. Oh.
So anyway,
You want like a prize? You want a prize? Okay.
The answer that he gave Silverstein was you should go on Sukkot.
I'll leave it right
Rosh
now.
Hashanah, I never knew this. He said Rosh Hashanah, when you're hearing the show, no matter where you are, it's like being in Yerushalayim.
Ooh, okay.
You ever hear that?
Very beautiful. Maybe based on Mishnayos. Yeah, okay. Very nice. Very nice. So we are in the middle, or really the end, the back end of chapter 18 of Shmuel Aleph. And the drama has already begun. There is a tremendous amount of jealousy, anger between Shaul and David HaMelech. Shaul is trying his darndest to wipe David out in passive ways, right? It's passive aggressive, right? This is an example of this. I'll just throw my arrow, pretend like I'm doing my spear, like it's gonna hit the wall, and maybe whatever. Maybe I'll just like dispatch him to every possible battle with the Plishtim. And each and every time, David is extremely successful. And then he needs to fulfill his promise of giving David, the winner of the battle of David and Goliath, his daughter. And that itself doesn't even work out because he gives her Meirav. Meirav is not interested. How would you say that? I don't know. Doesn't work out. And she's already taken for, and there's a big discussion about this. It's not Shayach. Okay. Now, let's go to Pasuk Chaf. David had a second daughter. Shaul had a second daughter named Michal. Word got back to Shaul that he still has to, fulfill his promise. That he has a second daughter named Michal, and Michal loved David, loved him, and so Shaul thought that would be a good idea. Let's have Michal marry David. This could work out. We're going to see that she loves him so much that she is very willing to defy her father, right, in face of her husband. But we'll see where that comes up. But Vayomer Shaul etznena lo utihi lo lemokesh. But Shaul sets it up as great. Michal will marry him, and she will be a mokesh. What's a mokesh? A trap, an ensnare. I'm going to use her to get David. Vayomer Shaul el David bishtayim tischatein bi hayom. So he says to her, bishtayim tischatein bi hayom. Now, what does that mean? Bishtayim, with two people, two individuals, with two what? Shaul says to David, through one of my two daughters, right? You will become my son-in-law, either with Meirav or with Michal, but in one way, shape or form, we are going to become family today. Vayitzav Shaul es Abadav dabru al David balat lemor. Shaul tells his people to start spreading the word quietly that the king wants you to be part of his family. So word spread pretty quickly. Right? What's the definition of a Jewish secret? You tell somebody something very quietly, and you say, "I'm only telling you." Right? So that's not out there. Well, Because who knows that secret?
What?
Who knows that secret?
Doesn't show know this.
No. All he knows is that the kingship is or was taken away from him, and it's going to be given to somebody better than him. We pointed out the Malbim is saying that that's what he's suspecting now with David, that David is that person, but it's, I'm sure we all had moments in our lives where something, the truth was right in front of our faces, but we're waiting for it to be said out in the open. And Kozman, as long as it's not said out in the open, we're just going to live a world where it doesn't exist, right? It's better for us. It's called a protective factor, right? Our brain, our minds, our hearts, our emotions do this to protect ourselves from facing things that really hurt us in a very real way. So, yes, he was promised, and the Navi tells him, you will get taken over. Someone's going to take over from you. We're giving you the kingship to somebody else, and I'm ripping it up from you. He ripped his clothing. Not everybody agreed who ripped whose clothing, but the clothing was ripped. This is happening. But until there is another king being heralded in, I am not going to do anything. I'm not going to change, right? This is a human condition. We all do this in our lives all the time. Until it's said out loud, we could be suspicious, we could be concerned, we're probably not sleeping at night, we probably have other things that try to cover up these emotions that protect us, that are also unhealthy. Some people eat a lot, some people do other things that are more damaging to their body. This is part of the human condition. Unless it's right in front of our face, it's said out loud, we are going to pretend or suppress this idea. Yeah.
So I hear what you say. My question is on Shiur. He knows what's going on, right? How could he let David never come to show this? I mean, he should go. It's not even tell Shaul. He could just say, listen, this is not a good thing. I don't think we should be doing this. I don't want to get into the reasons why, but my advice is, and it's like totally silent.
Okay, I hear you. Good. Very likely Hashem is not allowing him to.
Hashem wants us to be playing out this way.
This, yeah. Okay. Vaidabru, good. Vaidabru avdei Shaul ba'azei David esterim ha'ila v'yomer David ha'nikla b'einechem hischathem b'melach. This is shocking, right? It's crazy. It's a busha for the king to marry, for the king's daughter to marry me. Little old David, anochi ish rash v'niklem. I am a destitute, you're not saying, financially, but I am, what do I have? I'm a nobody. What do we say at the opening paragraph of Slichos? Kidalim uchrashem defacto blasa. We're nobody knocking on the king's door. Who are we? Who are we? Ve'gidu avdei Shaul lo lemor. So Shaul's people get back to him and tell him, like, David is, again, he is not saying no, but he is curious as to why he is chosen as the son-in-law of the king. The Yomer Shaul kol tamru David. Shaul then tells his people to speak to David. And I don't have a problem with these psukim back and forth. They're not talking to each other. No one's talking to each other. Everyone's talking through somebody else. Tell your sister that I am unhappy with what happened at the barbecue yesterday. Well, you go tell mom. Wait a minute. I don't get it. They're two adults, right? It's probably more on Shaul than on David. Shaul started this. Like, David's probably a little bit nervous to go before Shaul. There's a power, difference here, but it seems a little bit strange, right? Vayomer Shaul kol tomur leDavid. Go tell David. Go tell him. Ein chafetz lamelech b'momar. So what happens when you get when you marry someone very chashav? You have to give a dowry, right? There's a dowry involved. Is it goats? Is it sheep? Okay, different dowries. There's a dowry. That's the way definitely things were back in the day. What am I going to give into this marriage in order for this to work? Kibemeya.
Wasn't just question. That was everybody.
Everybody gave dowry, right? Based on the chashivas. Right? There was more, it was less. It was same.
More of the dowry.
Yeah.
Rabbi, Pasuk Yud though, David did say it's Shiur. It says, Vayomer David al Shiur. So there was a time when he did speak directly and said,
Right. And now, like,
that made no impact.
yeah.
Now you send texts.
Now you send the text. But a text is better than talking to the text to directly to a person. Happens to be a positive thing with text messages is that if you have an uncomfortable thing to say, at least you're saying it directly to them and not to somebody else to tell them, right? Honey disagrees. Okay,
I mean,
Say
it's so
directly.
it's a person. Okay,
And it's not, it's a whole study of it, social TV the other day. Nobody knows how to talk to them. And even when you text, there's no emotion in text. You don't know what you mean. You can read it one way, I'm not saying it that way.
it's helpful. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, it's
And it goes back to what you
yeah.
said.
It's
If
a-
you don't say it, we'll just pretend it never happened. Eventually it'll
Right.
go away, because we never said
So
it.
if you're not going to say it and a text message is going to say it
If they
to
get it.
soften it up, then that is much better.
Right, once it's right.
To write it. Yeah. Now you could read Apple. Now you could undo a text.
Are you allowed to give a text?
You know the answer to that question. You cannot give a get with the text. You can't give a ksuva with the text. You can could send someone in your stead to get married for you. Right?
Siri cannot be.
Yeah.
Siri AI cannot be a shliach. Not yet. No, Siri can't be a shliach.
Yes.
Joking around. Yeah. No.
Wait.
No, it's not because Siri is a woman. No, you can't give it. No, you have to be a human being. You have to be a human being. You have to be Jewish also. They're halachos with shlichos. It's a real. Gemara makes a drasha through truma. Atem gam atem, matem b'nei bris. You have to. There are very strict rules when it comes to who could be a shliach and who is not effective as a shliach. A child can't be a shliach, for example. Also. Okay. Vayomer Shal says, I don't want a dowry. What do I want from you? Kibemeya or los plishtim. I want the foreskins of 100 plishtim on my doorstep. Linakein be'oivei hamelech. V'shaul chashav lahapil es David b'yapleh. So, leave off the imagery here for a minute, but because it may not be literal. It may not be that he literally wants Mea Orlos Plishtim. What he's telling him is I want you to kill 100 Plishtim for me. Why is he doing this? The pasuk says why he's doing this. He wants him to die in the hands of the Plishtim. And this is his way of doing it. And if you want to say that, yes, it's literal, you need to return, like this is your receipt to proof a purchase, then he's only doing that to make the Plishtim even angrier at him. This way they'll take greater vengeance against David. This is so mutilating their body after that. That's crazy. All right, so Shaul is like going, taking a few steps further away from reality or from, what a king would do, because now his emotions are really taking him and pushing him further away from the middle of where he was. If this is, a king needs to be able to know when he can make a sane decision, a healthy decision for the sake of the nation. Is the decision he's making now good for the nation? Probably not. When they were battling, and there were battles, and he only sent David, you can argue that's fine. That's the right decision. Someone needs to battle against the Plishtim. And okay, I sent David. That's my personal thing. I want him to die in battle. But okay, but you needed to. Now it sounds like he's saying, you guys, I want David to start up with the Plishtim. Is there a doctrine that says we should be doing that as a Jewish people? Doesn't sound like it. So now he's going like almost off, he's going off script as to what a king should be doing. This is beyond his kingly duties, and he's doing a lot more.
How about how, when does this happen in terms of time when this whole thing happened with Goliath? This is right after this.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time.
Why not? It would sound, listen, they took the initiative, they wanted to go to war with us. They wanted to do something against us. Why wouldn't we now go ahead and do something back to that? Yeah, but okay.
Right. And we already said that there are many battles. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm suggesting. We'll see if this is right. That I'm suggesting. Then what was it necessary for David to go and be proactive in fighting? Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. But then the Mayor Orlos Plishtim is going to be.
This seems to be an ongoing thing between the Israel and Plishtim.
Correct.
It's going on forever and ever.
Correct. So the servants tell David what happened, what he wants. David wants to get married to be part of the family, and he didn't even wait. David went out immediately, right?
Sudden change in his attitude. First, he's so modest, who am I to marry the king's daughter? And that's how he told him he's all wrong to go now.
So you also think that marrying your daughter, he would want you killed, therefore, his son-in-law. You want your son-in-law.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like he was a little bit more sheepish in his personality, and now he wants to do it. It's a fair question. But once someone says something to you, like I see you as my son-in-law, then you have to see yourself as a son-in-law. That's something you want, and maybe it is something you want. It was clear, the Mepharshim point out, that he gave a time frame for this, and v'lo malu hayamim, that David didn't wait, and he actually brought it in under the clock, right, with time to spare. Vayakam David ve'ilach hu v'anashav vayach b'plishtim. How many people did they kill? A Sayimish. He doubled the expected dowry. Vayavei David is orlo sehem vayemalu lamelech. Right, this is a literal request, right? Literal request, and he brought them to him. Liskatein b'melech v'yitin lo Shaul as Michal bito liisha, and with this he married Michal. Right, with this he married Michal. Yeah.
So David wasn't allowed to make some English because he had too much blood on his hand.
Correct.
So how did a Jewish guy like this really get into this killing business? Yeah, did he just have the ability to kill people?
What do you mean?
I mean, what did it become? I mean, with Goliath, all of a sudden he transformed into this
warrior, right? He was a
the Hulk.
he was a redhead.
But this seems like this is now we're getting to now where it's really becoming. Yeah, do we know how many people he actually was responsible for killing in this?
No, the pasuk. Just we'll get to this. Shmuel Bey's Perek Zayin is this story where David really wants to build the Beis Hamikdash, and there Nasan Hanavi gives a very. We're going to read it, and it's going to sound. I don't want to say it's convoluted. It sounds that way. It's like a lot of things. And he doesn't say what we all know. The famous reason is given is Dam L'Rob Shafachta. That reason is not given in Sefer Shmuel at all. Zero, it's not there, it doesn't exist. There, more or less, that's what he says, it's not the right time. Basically. In a lot of words, he said, not the right time. In Sefer Divrei Yamim, he says, Dam L'Rob Shafachta. You have a lot of blood in your hands. And there, the Mefarshim struggle with what that means. Why? Because when you're at war, you're allowed to kill people. So did he do something wrong? So Honey's saying he did something wrong.
Yes.
But Sheva, he said she must be able to be killed.
It's one thing killing someone,
Serious.
bringing back force kids. It is.
This is intense. Yeah.
Depends that you look at it.
Right.
Even laws of war of today, if you cut off people's heads and display the heads and walk around, they don't.
It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. Okay.
Coming back to what Megan said, how could Shmuel allow?
It's very different when you go out to war. It's also very different when you purposely send something to your death. That's blood. What do you think about Sheva? That's when there's blood on his
Okay,
hands.
we didn't get there yet. We didn't get there yet.
That's.
We didn't get there yet. Why am I saying? Because we have to understand that story inside first. And is the whole reason because of one person? Or that's not the way your husband just translated it, because he said, Dam L'Rosh Shafachta means a lot of people. Was it one person, a lot of people? We'll have to get to this in terms of what this means. Yeah.
The world is a funny place, you know, it has that sense of humor. Because here we see that David is one that's going to show out, but it seems that Shaul got David to start his career killing people.
Becoming a general. Yeah, he became a general. Right. So when you're in the army also, and the king gives you an order, can you not follow that order?
No, and that's what I'm saying, that they
Right.
both been the effect of each other's lives. Very big.
Rabbi,
Yeah. Not a question. Yeah.
That's what the Nazis said.
I'm not gonna, Nathan, we cannot compare that story to our story tonight. Vayar Shaul Vayeda. One second, let's continue. Vayar Shaul Vayeda, Ki Hashem im David. It was very, very clear. Right? We're dealing with David and Melech, Shaul Melech, who are very close to the Ribono Shel Olam. We try to understand them in human terms they are human beings, but try to understand them this way we can relate to them. Vayar Shaul Vayeda, Ki Hashem im David, Micha bat Shaul ahavasa. Shaul now saw that right, this is a double blow. Hashem is with David. It's very obvious that God is on David's side. Otherwise, no human being can overcome each and every battle. Number two, double blow. Michal, his daughter, really loves David. Like, this is a real relationship. This is not a sham marriage that's for political reasons. Like, she really likes him. She really loves him. Vayasof Shaul leiro mipnei David od. Now, that causes Shaul to be afraid, be fearful of David. He Shaul oyev as David kol hayamim, and Shaul now becomes an enemy of David all of his days. Right? This further is going to, like, this ruach ra'ah that Shaul had is going to cause him to further and further, like, sink his teeth into, like, get stuck in his opinions about David HaMelech. Vayetzu ksarei plishtim, vahi midei tesam sachal David mikol avdei Shaul v'yekar shemo ma'od. And the officers of the Plishtim would continuously come out in battle against David. And what would happen? David would continue to win. And again, you're allowed to fight. These are regular wars that would happen. And David would go out every single time and he would win. This only happens when you are with Hashem. Yeah.
So if right after the whole thing with Goliath. But he just used his slingshot and some stones, and then all of a sudden, he's like this very capable, organized guy in charge of the army. I guess that just even shows even more to Shaul that Hashem is really with them.
Right.
From a little shepherd,
He has no
with a
experience.
slingshot to a big monster in the battlefield.
Right, and Chazal understand that he wasn't a strong person. He was short. He's on the shorter end. He was not powerful in that way, but we see that he had a tremendous amount of emunah and really lived with Hashem. Yeah.
Is this having a sequence after Shmuel went to Yishai?
Yeah, this is all in sequence.
This is all after.
After, yeah. Yeah, it's all in order. It's all in order. Okay, let's continue a few more psukim. It's really right now, it's like they're separate chapters, but it's like really one long story. So, Perek Yutes. Vayidaber Shaul al Yonasan beno, vel kol abadav. It's not on the source, it's not there, right? Lahami says David. Then Yonasan ben Shaul chafetz b'David mode. So now the order gets pretty straightforward. Shaul tells Yonatan to kill David. All right, this is pretty, okay. So Metzudas David says, do it the Orma, Bishkaga, do it accidentally, pretend, we'll have a cover up. Don't do it, straightforward. Pretend there was an accident and something happened. And Vayaged Yehonasan LeDavid Lemor. Vayaged Yehonasan LeDavid Lemor. Yehonasan then tells David, Mivakesh Shaul aviv lahamisecha. My father wants to kill you. In case you didn't, we were talking before about things out in the open. David probably knew this, right? But he never heard it out loud. Mivakesh Shaul aviv lahamisecha. Vata hishamer nachav avoker yeshavta v'seisi v'nach beisa. You gotta stay protected until the morning. Why stay protected until the morning? Don't leave now. It was the middle of the night when he told him this. Because it was unsafe. You don't leave at night. It's dangerous. Back then, it's dangerous to leave at night. And in the morning, get out of here. You go leave, right? I'll talk to my father and I'll see what happens. Meaning, I'm going to try to convince my father that murdering you or having you killed is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. So we will continue with that next week. How does Yonatan do this? Is it effective? And now David has two partners within Shaul's family that are Michal and Yonatan, and one of them is going to tell Shaul, stop this. Abba, right? Abba, we know this is not you, right? We know it's not you. We've known you. Something's wrong. We need to stop. Okay, so we'll see how a son's going to convince a father to stop, putting the kill on David. Wish everybody a wonderful day.
Jonathan wakes up now.